So, you felt it, didn't you? That strange pressure in the air, that little whisper in your gut telling you something was off. And you tried to ignore it, tried to laugh it away, tried to pretend life was moving normally. But it wasn't. Because while you were busy minding your own steps, they were busy whispering your name behind closed doors. A secret meeting, all about you. Funny, isn't it? You think you're ordinary, unnoticed, harmless even. But people don't gather in shadows for someone who doesn't matter. They don't whisper, plot, observe, unless your existence shakes something in them. You ever notice how people only gather in secret when something about you makes them nervous? It's almost poetic, really. Nobody holds a quiet meeting about someone they think is irrelevant. Nobody whispers in shadows, huddled together with nervous energy, unless something about your existence shakes the ground beneath them. And here's the delicious irony: you probably didn't even know you were causing the tremors. You were living your life, taking your steps, chasing your goals, building your vision quietly, and suddenly your presence became a problem. To them, your progress isn't just impressive, it's threatening. It unsettles the comfort they've built around themselves, the false sense of control they cling to, the belief that everything is predictable and orderly. And now, because of you, they feel exposed, vulnerable, like someone flipped a light switch in a dark room they thought was safe. They meet in secret because fear is contagious, but courage is not. They can whisper and strategize all they want, but they can't replicate the fire you carry inside you. Their meeting isn't a plan against you, it's a confession. Every hushed conversation, every nervous glance, every conspiratorial glance toward your name on their lips is proof that you exist in a way they can't ignore. And that's the funny part. You didn't even ask for this attention. You didn't crave it. You didn't need to fight for it. You just moved forward, and their fear made them act. Think about the psychology behind it. People fear what they can't control, what they don't understand, and what they see growing faster than they expected. And the moment you begin leveling up, that's exactly what you become. Unpredictable, powerful, alive. You are no longer a passive participant in the story they feel compelled to react. Their secret meeting, their whispering strategy, their clandestine discussions are all reactions to your energy, your ambition, your presence. It's a reflection of their insecurity more than it is a reflection of you. They're trying to figure out how to manipulate reality to match their comfort. But the reality is you've already moved past the boundaries they thought existed. And here's the kicker: they don't see it as admiration. But that's exactly what it is. They fear what they secretly admire. Every strategy they plot in shadowy rooms is a distorted mirror of the respect they feel for your power. They wouldn't invest that much mental energy into someone they didn't think was capable of something extraordinary. Every note taken, every cautious exchange, every concerned glance toward your progress is a silent acknowledgement. You matter. You matter more than they can admit. And that matters even more than their fear. While they sit, whispering, worrying, scheming, you keep moving. And movement terrifies them because it reminds them of their own stagnation. You've become a problem not because of what you're doing to them, but because of what you're doing to yourself. You're leveling up, expanding, asserting your presence, claiming your destiny, and all of that energy resonates outward. People notice it in subtle ways. Maybe they can't articulate it. Maybe they try to rationalize it, but they feel it. And when people feel things they cannot control, they meet secretly, they strategize, they fear, they plot. But here's the beauty: secrecy does not equal power. Hushed meetings do not create destiny. Whispered fears cannot cage someone who has already discovered their strength. You can't be outmaneuvered when you operate in clarity, when your energy is focused, when your steps are deliberate. They might think that plotting in shadows gives them an advantage, but the light of your purpose shines through before any plan can reach you. They underestimate how unstoppable someone becomes when they refuse to bow to invisible fears, when they refuse to shrink in response to someone else's discomfort, when they refuse to let whispers dictate their path. So let them meet, let them whisper, let them pour over your name like a puzzle they can't solve. Because every secret gathering, every hushed tone, every careful eye directed at you is a testament to your presence, your power, your rising. You are the storm in their calm, the ripple in their pond, the shadow they cannot contain. And while they're busy strategizing, you're building, growing, moving forward, untouchable, unstoppable, unbothered. Every whispered conversation about you is proof of your influence, proof that your energy matters, proof that you're alive in a way they can't control, proof that they're already too late to stop what's coming. People hold secret meetings about you because you are bigger than they imagined. It's funny, isn't it? How someone else's fear can become a full-blown operation in the shadows, all because of the energy you carry. You didn't ask for this attention. You didn't send out an invitation. But your presence alone was enough to make them feel threatened. And that's the irony of it. They're so busy plotting against you, trying to strategize, trying to contain what they can't understand, that they don't even realize how much power they're giving you. Every whisper, every glance, every careful consideration they give your name is a silent acknowledgement. You are relevant. You exist in a way they can't ignore. Think about it. Why would anyone waste energy on someone who didn't matter? Why would they sit together behind closed doors, whispering, plotting, discussing, if you weren't making waves in their comfortable little pond? You see, their secret meetings aren't a measure of your weakness. They are a reflection of their own insecurity. They feel the tremors your ambition is causing, the ripple effect of your growth, and their fear triggers a need to strategize. They cannot allow uncertainty, even if it's your success, to exist unchecked. And so, they meet in shadows, trying to wrestle control over a reality that is already moving past them. It's almost poetic. The very things they whisper in private are evidence of your impact. You have become a variable they cannot predict, a force they cannot measure, a presence that disrupts their fragile illusions of control. And while they are calculating, you continue to move forward, unaware of the silent storm you have stirred. You continue to build, to grow, to step into spaces they assumed they could dominate. Your life, your actions, your evolution become the catalyst for their whispered conversations, their furtive exchanges, their attempts to understand how someone so unassuming on the surface could be so dangerous to their complacency. They meet because they are afraid of change, afraid of unpredictability, afraid of someone who refuses to fit into the small box they've built for the world. And in their fear, they reveal more about themselves than they ever could about you. Every note taken, every cautionary suggestion, every hesitant glance in your direction shows that you exist on a level they cannot yet reach. They cannot comprehend the momentum you've gathered, the confidence you radiate, the purpose that drives you. And so, they gather to make sense of something they cannot control, hoping that in numbers, in secrecy, they might find a way to protect their fragile equilibrium. Meanwhile, you continue to ascend. Every step you take, every goal you reach, every action you commit to your vision only amplifies their whispered fear. Their secrecy cannot touch you, cannot slow you down, cannot bend your path. They might hope that plotting in silence will give them leverage, but leverage belongs to those who act, to those who show up, to those who refuse to hide. Your forward motion is unstoppable because it is authentic, deliberate, and unbound by the shallow calculations of those too timid to meet the world face to face. And here's the irony: they try to manipulate reality in secret, thinking that hidden schemes give them control, thinking that private strategies can outmaneuver someone who refuses to bow to fear. But control is an illusion, and secrecy is a trap. You cannot be contained by whispered discussions or nervous plotting. The power they try to hold over you only illuminates your influence, only marks the territory of your presence in ways they will never fully comprehend. They cannot undo what you are becoming, cannot rewind the energy you have generated, cannot erase the impact of your existence. So let them hold their meetings. Let them whisper your name in fear, speculation, and uncertainty. Every secret gathering is a confirmation of your relevance, a tribute to the momentum you have built, a reflection of your unstoppable presence. And while they scheme in shadows, you move forward in the light, untouchable, unshaken, inevitable. Their hidden discussions prove only one thing: that you are alive, that you matter, that you have become a force they cannot contain, a presence they cannot diminish, a reality they cannot control. They held a secret meeting about you because, whether they admit it or not, you exist on a level that makes them uncomfortable. It's strange, isn't it, how someone can be quietly living their life, quietly building, quietly rising, and suddenly your very presence becomes a problem for people who thought the world revolved around their comfort. They don't even know what to do with you. They can't measure you, can't control you, can't predict you. And when the unpredictable shows up in their neat little plans, panic sets in. So they meet in secrecy, trying to stitch together a sense of order from chaos that doesn't exist because you, unknowingly, have already shifted the energy around you. Secret meetings are born out of fear, and fear is contagious. They whisper about what you might do, how you might grow, where you might go. But they forget that whispering doesn't stop destiny. Every word they exchange about you is evidence of your presence, your momentum, the way you are already influencing the world. They meet to strategize, to plot, to control the uncontrollable. Yet all they do is reveal how much space you occupy in their consciousness. The very act of fearing you elevates you. The very act of discussing you in shadows proves that your energy is real, tangible, undeniable. They see what you're capable of, even if they try to deny it to themselves. They notice your ambition, your progress, your quiet confidence that doesn't scream but echoes anyway. And that scares them, because they have lived their lives under the illusion of predictability. They've surrounded themselves with rules, walls, and whispers of control, and suddenly your movement disrupts it all. So they gather, they strategize, they calculate, they analyze, and all of it is a reflection of your impact rather than any weakness on your part. You see, people only act in secrecy when they feel their own fragility exposed. They fear your rise because it illuminates their stagnation. Every small victory you achieve, every confident step you take, every door you walk through that they assumed was closed for good, heightens their anxiety. They feel cornered by someone who refuses to stay small, someone who refuses to bend, someone who refuses to let them dictate the pace of the world. And so they meet in hushed tones, hoping their private deliberations will somehow level the field, hoping their whispering can reach where their hands cannot, hoping that by hiding they might regain control they have already lost. But here's the truth: they cannot stop you. Meetings in secret, Whispered strategies, furtive glances, all of it is powerless against someone who refuses to be contained. Your focus, your clarity, your forward motion are immune to their schemes. While they gather in fear, you act in reality. While they calculate endlessly, you build effortlessly. While they whisper in shadows, you shine in the light. And every meeting they hold only highlights your influence, your relevance, your unstoppable presence. Their attempts at control are ultimately a tribute to your power. They cannot admit it. They cannot face it openly. But the fact that they've taken time to meet about you proves something undeniable. You are important. You are moving. You are shifting energy in ways they cannot contain. And every plan they concoct, every cautious word spoken behind closed doors, every nervous exchange about your name, reinforces a simple truth: you are no longer someone they can ignore. You exist. You matter. You are alive in ways that demand acknowledgement, even if it comes wrapped in secrecy and fear. So let them meet. Let them whisper. Let them strategize in their hidden rooms. Because every secret discussion about you is proof of your momentum, proof of your presence, proof that the world is already reacting to your rise, whether they like it or not. And while they are trapped in their fear, you move freely, untouchable, unstoppable, inevitable, and impossible to contain. They held a secret meeting about you because the energy you carry cannot be ignored. It's fascinating how some people think hiding in shadows gives them power, that whispering in closed rooms can change reality. They meet because your presence rattles the fragile comfort they cling to, because your progress highlights their stagnation, because your movement is proof that life doesn't need their permission to happen. And while they strategize, you keep existing in a way they cannot touch, a way they cannot predict, a way they cannot control. That is what terrifies them the most, not your words, not your actions, not even your intentions, but the fact that you simply are, and your existence threatens the neat little order they've constructed around themselves. Secret meetings are born out of fear, and fear is the purest form of attention. They cannot confront what they feel openly, so they retreat to whispers, to hushed tones, to closed doors, hoping the walls will contain the power that they cannot control. Every whispered speculation about you, every plan hatched to manage you, every cautious exchange of glances across the table is proof that you are operating on a frequency they cannot reach. They are trying to manipulate something untouchable. And that's the beauty of it. They are giving you importance simply by attempting to diminish it. You have to understand the psychology behind it. People fear what they cannot predict, and you have become unpredictable. You have begun moving in ways that don't fit their limited framework of the world. You've begun to grow faster than they thought possible. You've begun to shine brighter than they dared to imagine. And all of this makes them uneasy. Their meetings are not about strategy, they are about reassurance, about trying to convince themselves that you can be controlled, contained, or diminished. But no amount of secrecy can alter the fact that you exist in a way that they cannot manage. Think about the irony. The very attention they give you in fear is proof of your power. Every note taken, every plan drafted, every cautious conversation is a tribute to your influence. They cannot admit it, they cannot face it, but they have acknowledged something undeniable. You matter. You are significant. You are alive in ways that challenge their assumptions and disturb their equilibrium. Their fear is only a mirror reflecting your unstoppable momentum, your presence, your ability to disrupt the comfortable illusions they've built around themselves. And while they are trapped in planning, in scheming, in fearing the unknown, you are moving, you are building, creating, stepping forward. Every step you take, every decision you make, every action you commit to your purpose widens the gap between who they are and who you are becoming. Their meetings cannot slow you, cannot contain you, cannot erase the momentum you have built simply by being unapologetically alive. They may try to manipulate outcomes, predict your next move, or undermine your influence, but the truth is, your energy is beyond their grasp. The secret meetings are also a lesson for you. They show you the weight of your presence, the impact you have on others, the way your life ripples through spaces they thought were immune to disruption. Their whispers are the acknowledgement of your influence, the testament of your potential, the evidence that you are operating in a sphere that demands attention, even if it comes clothed in fear. You are not being targeted because you are weak. You are being noticed because you are powerful. You must embrace that. Understand that every plan they hatch, every nervous glance they share, every word spoken about you in secrecy, only proves your significance. While they are strategizing in fear, you continue to move with clarity and purpose. You are not bound by their whispers or their anxiety. Your forward motion, your presence, your life speaks louder than any closed-door meeting could ever hope to. They are shadows, fleeting, reactive, powerless to alter the trajectory of someone who has already decided to rise, and rise unapologetically. So let them meet, let them whisper, let them sit in their secret rooms, trying to find ways to slow a force they cannot touch. Every hushed conversation, every cautious word, every furtive glance about you only amplifies one undeniable truth. You exist, you matter, and your energy is impossible to contain, untouchable, unstoppable, and inevitable. They held a secret meeting about you because your existence cannot be ignored. Isn't it strange how some people think they can contain what they don't understand? How they believe that huddling in closed rooms, whispering in careful tones, plotting and analyzing, can somehow influence the unstoppable force that is you, simply by thinking hard enough. They meet in secrecy because fear always seeks concealment. Fear doesn't like exposure, doesn't like transparency, doesn't like confronting power directly. And your presence, your movement, your energy, quiet, deliberate, undeniable, is the exact opposite of concealment. It exposes them, makes them uneasy, forces them to recognize that you are operating on a level they cannot reach, a frequency they cannot measure, a momentum they cannot control. The fascinating part is that these secret meetings are never about you in reality. They are about their insecurity, their discomfort, their fragile illusions of control. You don't even have to lift a finger. Your mere existence, your growing confidence, your relentless pursuit of your path triggers something in them that their rational minds cannot process. They meet to strategize, to manage, to regain some illusion of dominance. But all they do is highlight your influence. Every whispered word, every careful observation, every calculated plan is a mirror reflecting the undeniable truth. You matter, and your presence cannot be ignored. Think about it for a moment. Why does anyone spend energy on someone irrelevant? Why do they gather in hushed tones, exchange glances, scribble notes, and whisper your name if you didn't already exist as a problem they cannot solve? They are trying to rationalize what they fear. They are trying to assert some control over chaos that is bigger than them. And the irony is delicious. They cannot control it, cannot predict it, cannot contain it. Every plan they create, every strategy they draft, every discussion held in secrecy is powerless against the force that is already moving forward without hesitation, without apology, without doubt. Their meetings reveal more about themselves than they ever could about you. They are afraid of disruption, afraid of unpredictability, afraid of someone who refuses to be contained. And in that fear, they acknowledge something they would never say aloud. You are significant. They notice your ambition, your progress, your quiet energy that cannot be hidden. They fear the disruption you bring because it exposes the stagnation they've accepted, the compromises they've tolerated, the smallness they've settled for. Their fear is a silent tribute to your power, an unspoken recognition that you are alive in ways they are not. Meanwhile, you continue to move forward. Every action you take, every decision you make, every step you take in the direction of your purpose widens the gap between you and those who try to strategize in secret. They may hope that whispered plans and furtive discussions will slow you down, but momentum cannot be stopped by shadows. Energy cannot be contained by fear, and influence cannot be denied when it is grounded in authenticity, in clarity, in determination. The secret meeting is also a message, if you choose to see it. It's proof of your significance, of the ripples you are creating, of the impact your presence has on the world around you. They are giving you attention they cannot control, time they cannot reclaim, mental energy they cannot redirect. And all of this, paradoxically, empowers you. The more they gather, whisper, and plan, the more evidence accumulates that you are a force that cannot be ignored, a presence that commands acknowledgement even when it is cloaked in fear. You must understand that secrecy is not power. Whispering is not strength. Fear is never strategy. You, moving forward, acting with intention, living with clarity, operating with purpose, are more powerful than anything plotted behind closed doors. While they are trying to bend reality to their comfort, you are reshaping reality with your presence. Their secret meetings are irrelevant against someone who refuses to shrink, who refuses to hide, who refuses to let whispers dictate the trajectory of their life. So let them meet, let them whisper, let them plan. Every secret discussion, every careful glance, every hushed word about you only reinforces one undeniable truth. You exist, you matter, your presence is felt, your energy cannot be contained, your momentum is unstoppable, and your influence is inevitable. They held a secret meeting about you because your presence has become unavoidable. Isn't it curious how people think that whispering behind closed doors, huddled together with cautious glances, can somehow influence someone who has already moved beyond their comprehension? Fear drives them to secrecy, and secrecy gives birth to strategies that are more about their fragility than about your existence. They meet because the energy you carry, the momentum you generate, the simple act of being alive and moving forward unsettles them. They cannot stop what they cannot control, and that is exactly what terrifies them. Your life, your growth, your clarity, these things are foreign to them, unpredictable, untouchable, and every secret gathering is their desperate attempt to make sense of what they cannot contain. The truth is, secret meetings reveal far more about those holding them than they do about the target of their fear. Every whispered conversation, every cautious exchange, every glance aimed in your direction is proof that you have already become significant. They try to strategize in shadows, hoping to regain control, to influence outcomes, to adjust reality to fit their fragile comfort. But all they do is highlight your power. The more they talk, the more evidence accumulates that you matter, that your energy cannot be ignored, that your movement cannot be stopped. Their secrecy is an unintentional tribute to your influence, a hidden acknowledgement that you exist on a level they cannot reach. Consider why anyone would invest time, energy, and mental effort into someone irrelevant. Why would they gather behind closed doors to whisper and plot if you didn't already make waves? Their secrecy is rooted in fear, fear of unpredictability, fear of disruption, fear of someone whose presence challenges the stagnation they've settled into. They recognize, even if subconsciously, that your growth exposes the gaps in their own lives, the compromises they've accepted, the complacency they've allowed. And because they cannot confront it openly, they retreat into shadows, hoping their whispers will somehow alter a reality that has already begun to shift in your favor. Every secret meeting, every hushed word, every note taken about you is proof that you have become a force that cannot be ignored. Their fear gives you weight, their plotting gives you relevance, their concern validates your existence. They do not realize that while they sit, strategizing and fearing, you are moving, you act, you build, you advance. You step into rooms, take opportunities, and carry energy that cannot be diminished by hidden conversations. Momentum cannot be stopped by whispers. Influence cannot be hindered by secret agendas. And power, the kind that comes from clarity and authenticity, cannot be contained by anxiety. Their attempts at control, their desire to manipulate outcomes, are ultimately futile because they underestimate one critical thing: the truth of your presence. You are not reactive. You do not shrink in response to fear. You do not allow whispers to dictate your movement. Every secret conversation about you simply illuminates your significance, and every plot hatched in darkness is a testament to your impact. They measure you not by what you do for them, but by what you make them feel, the undeniable awareness that someone exists beyond their control, someone whose life forces recognition, whether they like it or not. While they are trapped in their shadowed rooms, trying to wrest some sense of order, you operate in the light of your own energy. Every decision you make, every step you take, every action committed to your purpose widens the gap between their fear and your reality. They may attempt to strategize, but strategy cannot outpace authenticity. They may whisper, but whispers cannot alter momentum. They may plot, but plotting is powerless against someone who refuses to be contained. Your presence, your clarity, your focus, your unstoppable drive, these are forces they cannot influence, cannot diminish, cannot undo. So let them hold their meetings. Let them whisper. Let them plan. Let them sit in secret rooms, trying to create leverage where none exists. Every secret discussion about you is proof that your life matters, that your energy is impactful, that your presence cannot be ignored, that your influence is inevitable, that your momentum is unstoppable, that your reality is untouchable, and that you are moving in a direction that they can never contain, never control, and never predict.